I did good. I hardly danced today. I did really good. You should be patting me on the back right now.
All
Guess what
right.
day it is, everybody? What's that, Dion?
It's Water Cooler Wednesday.
Yes, it is. Welcome to our
All
show.
right.
And
All right.
today,
Right.
today
Today
we
we're
actually
going
are going to be
right.
talking about something very interesting. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it.
So today we're talking about down payment assistance, right? So
What?
yes. One of the important things about getting your loan is that you do have to have a down payment, right?
Right.
And so a lot of times, one of the biggest showstoppers, right, for people that are buying a home, they may not even talk to us, but they've already decided that they don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And so we're here to tell you that you may have enough money. So let's talk about how you can make sure that you have your down payment. All right.
I could have a little bit of input on that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So Lisa's
so
gonna share her experience as far as being a lender and how you can have down payment. But first, we're gonna talk about who I am. I am Dione Branch, and I am with Allure Dream Homes, brokered by EXP.
yep. And
And
I am Lisa J, the house money mama with Nexa Mortgage, where brokers are better. Finding that out more and more every day.
all right. So we are so glad to be here with you all today. It is definitely a joy for us to come to you every week. So, Lisa,
Yes.
um, how much down payment is normally like required, right? I hear people like, I
Well,
don't have it, but do you know how much you need? So,
most people really don't. Because
mhm,
usually, when I have a conversation with people about down payment, they don't even really know how much they would need. So
mhm,
we look at down payment as percentages. The only true no down payment loan is probably going to be like a VA loan. A veteran, they do not have to put any money down as long as they have sufficient entitlement. But any other loan, you're usually going to have to put something down. Smallest amount would probably be, if you qualify, a conventional loan for that they have a special program like the Home Possible. So, but that conventional loan program, you can put 3% down, but that means you're on your income is within certain parameters. That is income based.
mhm.
FHA though is only 3.5% down, and it doesn't have anything to do with income at all. It doesn't matter. Regular conventional down payment, if you don't qualify for that income-based program, would be 5%. So those are your minimums. Now,
Okay.
depending on the loan product and the individual situation for a person, those numbers can change.
That's right. Because a lot of people still think that they need 20% down. Everybody
Mm-mm.
here is like, oh, I, I need to, I don't have 20%.
Right. Guess what? You don't need
Right. Don't need it. Right.
it. So absolutely not. So I know you made the comment that we'll be talking about down payment assistance, but we do know about down payment assistance programs, but today I'm going to help you assist yourself.
Yeah.
So so we'll talk about that. And we do have, we're planning. So we do have programs coming where we'll have podcasts that we discuss down payment assistance programs that might be available to you in your local area. So we will talk about some of those as well. But today, I want to focus on God blessing the child that's got its own or figuring it out.
All right.
so,
All right.
so first thing, I know probably a lot of people don't really want to hear about it because it's the dreaded B word, budgeting. Um, and that is something that, we always talk about on this show. We always talk about being prepared. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to call it something else so you'll feel better about it, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you do have to budget, and kind of make a plan for the savings, for having money aside and, just preparing for the purchase of the home. You got to think of it as like your future home fund. What I've seen some people do actually is they will open up an account, and in that account, excuse me, they only put money that's going toward the house.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They might do it for a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever, but they only put money in that account that's going to go toward the purchase of their home. So they may set up like, because you could do this with your paycheck. Have a certain amount from every paycheck go into that particular account. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't even see it.
You
You
don't even
can't
have
touch
to do
it.
it yourself, right? You can
Right.
do a direct deposit
Yep.
from your
Yep.
account.
Just have it
Uh,
directly come from your paycheck, and then boom, there you go. It's already there, and
mhm.
you would really be surprised. I think a lot of people get surprised to see how quickly that money starts to, grow. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh wow, I got $5,000, I got $10,000 before you know it. And then another thing would really just be, how we kind of like all in the what I call the gig, what we call the gig economy. I have seen some people. So that's one thing as far as the savings, budget and save. But another thing is by us being in this gig economy now, I have seen people that, for a month or two drive for Uber or Lyft, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
These people are easily well, maybe I shouldn't say easily. I've never driven. So, it might be hard. I don't know.
Right.
But it don't seem like it's that hard. You already drive anyway. You know how to drive, so drive for money. But yeah, I've seen people pull in, $3,000, $6,000 in a month from driving for Uber or Lyft. So I'm sure there's plenty of other things, that you can do. There are places like Fiverr, Upwork, even
Mm-hmm.
some of these local like Facebook groups that are kind of to our local area. A lot of times people put stuff out there. Hey, I need somebody who can help me with the website. I need somebody who can, give me some guidance on you know what I mean? That
Right.
people are looking for answers and solutions for things that you probably already know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you
So
don't
you
have
can,
to know everything. You just
right,
got to know more than them.
take advantage of a side hustle for a little while.
Yep, absolutely. Because
Now,
that in itself.
question:
Go ahead. Yeah.
when you're calculating their income and they have this side hustle, can that be included as their income?
Not unless it's been 2 years.
Okay. So, yeah.
That was a good question, though. I had a feeling you was going to ask it. I knew where you was going. But no, it has to be, you have to have a history. So
Hmm.
once you've been driving or, hustling, whatever, for 2 years and you've been making money with it, then we can use it. Then we can use it as an actual income source. So we include it as part of your effective income. But you don't really have to do that if you just need, money just to get
Right.
you by.
Right. So it can help you as far as your down payment assistance, but it won't be able to help you with showing that it's additional income. But it's still a good thing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mhm.
Because you could use it for both, obviously, if you meet the requirements. But
Right.
so we're primarily talking today about getting the money for down payment because that's always such a huge barrier for people. They don't feel that they have what they need. And they're
Hmm.
trying to figure out how to get it. So being able to have something like this where you can, take 60, 90 days and you might be able to make $10,000 just from doing something like
Right.
some of these side hustles, as we call them.
Yeah.
So that would be a second thing that you could do that I think would be very helpful. Um, Something else, a lot of people, I've known a number of people, and actually I'm guilty, getting on places like Facebook Marketplace. I would
Hmm.
sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And it's I had a conversation with somebody. I'm just going to share this. It's really not related to down payment, but it was a funny conversation to me. He was like, "Wait, you bought this for $85 and you just sold it to somebody else for 150. I said, yes, I'm a good business person.
Right.
It's not about, it's not about what you acquire something for. It's about what is somebody else willing to pay for it.
For yeah.
So he was willing to pay $150 for what I was selling. So I'm not gonna say, no, you only got to give me 85. I just want to make back. No, no.
Right.
So, but I mean, you can do that. And it doesn't have this. The thing that I sold, I don't think I've ever sold anything new on Facebook Marketplace. So it doesn't even have to be new stuff. I'm talking about stuff you've already got some usage out of. Now you can actually go and still sell it to somebody else, and they can get some usage out of it. But again, one of those things that sometimes people don't really think about as being a
Hmm.
way for you to generate some income. You can do things like that to be able to get some funds. Um, so that would be, I would say that would be our third one. Number three. Okay. So sell your old stuff
Right.
or sell that new stuff that's been sitting in a closet, probably in a box or still in a garment bag or whatever. You ain't done nothing with it.
With it.
Sell it, get some money for it, let that go to that same account that we've set up where you're collecting all the money for your house purchase.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're going to say something?
No, I was just like, these are some creative ways. Definitely.
Yes, ma'am. Now, here's a question that I do get sometimes. Because, and actually, most of the times, I'm the one that kind of initiates and takes us down this path. But is it okay to get gift funds? So there are some loans that don't allow for you to be able to get gift funds, but very few and far between. Um, but for a conventional, for an FHA, USDA, VA, any of those, you would still be able to get gift funds. So
Well,
what's a gift fund? Normally, it's usually the easiest one is probably going to fall under the auspices of a relative. So that's somebody who either they're blood related, like a parent, a child, something like that. Maybe a cousin. We can usually get away with cousins, people like that. Some kind of blood relationship, uncle, aunt. It has to be some kind of blood relationship. Now there is a little bit of a caveat because we do have instances where if I believe this is a FHA guideline. If you have someone who you have known, like their lifelong friend, they
hmm.
would consider them as a relative.
Oh, okay. Because
Hmm.
I've known we've had a lot of clients that have received a gift, right?
Hmm.
But I didn't know that it had to be a blood relative. That this was actually something new that I had actually found out about. Okay.
Hmm. Yep. It's supposed to be a blood relative. But like I said, they do have that one caveat. I'd have to look it up to know for sure if you can do it for conventional, but I'm positive for FHA. If it's somebody who is like a lifelong friend, they would consider them the same as a relative. So like if it's somebody you grew up with, or something like that, they'll consider
Hmm.
them the same as a relative. So you can still get a
Okay.
gift from them as well.
All right. And and when getting a gift, people have to they have to sign a document stating that it is a gift.
Yep. Yep. That was going to be the one of the next things I was going to go to.
Okay.
So no, you're fine. You're taking us in the
Hmm.
right direction. So when you do a gift, there are a couple of things that you want to be aware of. So one, it has to actually be a gift, so they will need to sign a what we call a gift letter. And that gift letter is going to say, I such and such, is giving X amount of dollars to this person for the purchase of this house, that there's no repayment expected from this money. But then also, and this part gets to be a little bit tricky sometimes with our people, the donor, the person who's giving the money, um, they don't always want to show their bank account.
Yeah.
But you have to. It's no way
Yeah.
around it. You
Yeah.
have to show it. Now, it's a couple of different ways we can show it because you can't actually send a redacted bank account statement into the underwriter. They're going to look at me and laugh and,
What's
basically send it right
redacted
back.
though? You threw out
Redacted
a big
means
word, redactive.
shut up. You know how you scratch stuff off with your little Sharpie marker. so they can't read,
Right.
that you went to Lovers Lane and stuff like that.
Right. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so don't be trying to send no redacted bank statements in. The underwriter's not gonna like that. But if you are concerned about the privacy of your transactions, you can always also do a it's I'm trying to think what we call it. A statement that you get from the bank, and that statement is like I know what it's called, an average daily balance statement. So as long as that average daily balance is the same or more as the gift that you're donating, then we can use that. We don't have to have a full bank statement. So that's another thing. So look, why you got that look, Dion?
Because I didn't quite get it. And so if it's the same, if you have a bank account that has the same amount, you said?
As long as the average daily balance is
Oh,
the
okay.
same or more as
Mm-hmm.
the gift that they're giving. So, for
Okay.
example,
Yes.
say
I.
at closing, I'm planning on giving somebody $10,000, and I don't want to show my bank account statement because I don't want y'all knowing that I went to Lovers Lane,
Yeah.
So, so which I don't, but but if I don't want to show my bank account statement, then I'll give an average daily balance instead from the bank, and as
Okay.
long as my average daily balance is at least $10,000, then the gift will be viable.
Right.
We can
And
use it.
so you can just go to the bank and you ask them for that statement, which is an average daily balance, right?
Correct.
And they
Yep.
will provide that for you, and it's in lieu of you actually showing your whole bank
The
statement.
full bank statement, yeah. And
Okay.
the
All
average
right.
daily balance statement does not have any of the itemized transactions that occur in your
Mm-hmm.
account. It's really just for the purposes of showing how much you normally have in your account.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something else that can work for those people that don't want to show their bank statements.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you do have to remember that. I like to bring that up because a lot of times people like, what you mean I have to show my bank statement? Yes, this is a legal transaction. We have rules that we
Right.
need to follow. So yeah, and this is one of them. So
Right. This is when you say your favorite slogan.
what's my favorite slogan?
She always, I don't know why she isn't even saying it right now. This is when she get all up in your business.
I do get in your business though. I definitely do.
Right. And when you have someone that's giving a gift, unfortunately, we have to get in their business.
In their business too. That's right. But it's not the same as how I get in yours, but I get in theirs a little bit too. Okay, so we did like what, four? I got a few more.
Okay.
So retirement accounts. Now this one sometimes can be, I don't know if I really want to use the word tricky, but you do want to do it in a way that makes the most sense. Sometimes people borrow from their retirement account, but you don't really have to do that. So they do something called a hardship withdrawal. So like if
Mm-hmm.
you have a 401k, some kind of retirement account like that, you can usually do what they call a hardship withdrawal. It doesn't literally mean that you have a like you're
Hard.
having a hard time, but
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that it's a lump sum of money that most people have to come up with when they buy a house, they consider it a hardship. So it is one of the options,
Right.
as like a reason for you to do a hardship withdrawal from your
Yeah.
401k. So
And a
I
lot
would,
of times you should always, when you have a 401k, you should probably ask, contact them and get this information, because you could do it for purchasing a home
yep.
if you have someone that's ill. And then and they vary, like how your account is set up based off of your company is always, it may be different, but you could do home, medical, and then also education, which
Hmm.
I've seen in the past and stuff.
Okay. Now I didn't
Hmm.
know about the education thing, so I just learned a little bit something myself today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I had a client just yesterday. I was talking to potential client, and she she was, this is actually her second time going around, but she was like, hey, she was like, last time I forgot about my 401k. Right. Right. Sometimes, so earlier you had mentioned open up a saving account, but
Yeah,
maybe some companies, like you may have a pension, and then they also offer you the option of having 401k, or like
yeah,
my husband got deferred. I think he called it deferred comp, because he used to be a Chicago police officer.
yeah,
So there's a lot of different programs. Even if you have a pension, a lot of times they may offer one of these different 401k deferred comp type of options, where you could save your money as well, and for your down payment.
yep, absolutely. That's a great suggestion. Yep.
Hmm.
Um, and something you do just want to keep in mind when it comes to the retirement accounts, there is still a penalty. I think you miss the taxes. No, wait, that's reversed. There is still taxes, but you miss the penalty. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hmm.
you don't get penalized for taking out the money, but if it's something where you would owe taxes, it will factor into your taxable income. So you do need to keep that in mind, because that will have an impact on your tax return for that year, for whatever year that is. So just something to keep in mind, some pros and cons for you to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Um, so this is tax season, speaking about taxes. And so sometimes we get like little windfalls of money. Usually around this time is when we get them.
Yeah.
So I know we've been talking about this over the past couple of months, but it's so, 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 so important. Do not waste your tax refund. If you got a refund coming and you're able to use that to improve your life, do it.
Hmm.
So what is this, 5 or 6 that we're on now? I would say that would be another one that you could do. Your income tax refund, you could use that. Now that I think about it, because that's something that happens once a year. So another thing that for a lot of people may happen once a year is like a bonus. So you know
Yeah.
how, like, I know there are some people that I've had in the past where I'm like, you made a lot of money this month. Why so
Hmm.
much more? But that was the month, they had like an annual time, and that was the month where they paid out bonuses. So for some companies, if you get something like that, instead of planning, just to splurge with the bonus, use that bonus again in that account that we talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Put the bonus in there so when you're ready, that you'll have that money available for your down payment.
Hmm. Very true. Very true.
Uh-huh. So we don't want to look at that stuff as extra spending money. And then, so now I do just want to, because I know I want to begin to wrap up in a few minutes. So I do just want to say that, excuse me, it's really, really important just to be disciplined. So while, you know, um, we normally think of saving money as actually taking some cash, some form of income or whatever, and putting it into account, or, setting it aside or whatever. But you can also think of savings as what you deny yourself, like what you decide not to do. Maybe you normally splurge every Friday, treating everybody in the office or something like
Hmm.
that. Or,
How about
maybe
that? How about that cup of coffee
that,
that you drink
oh,
every
girl, if
day?
it's some Starbucks.
Right. You can get your down payment real quick by giving up Starbucks.
Say it, sister.
Right. Real quick.
Right.
Right.
We should do a little snippet, like a little reel talking about Starbucks savings.
Yes.
Ready to buy a home? Here's your Starbucks savings plan.
Because if you get rid of Starbucks on a daily basis, you could definitely have your down payment money.
Yep.
Right.
You could
Go to
you
Costco, get a Keurig, buy a Keurig machine, get a little Keurig cups,
okay.
right, and have the same good coffee.
That's what we need to be doing anyway, in my opinion.
Right.
But I don't want to take nothing away from Starbucks. But even if you just, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't think enough of ourselves or value ourselves enough that we splurge sometimes.
Yeah.
But we also need to think enough of ourselves that we can buckle down when it comes to achieving a goal that we really want to achieve. You know, if you say you want to buy a house, okay, here's what you need to do to make it happen. Because it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to put the things in place and be disciplined about it and actually do it.
Yeah.
It almost anybody can buy a house. If you're of age, you have income, it depends on what you qualify for, obviously, but pretty much anybody can buy a house.
Yeah.
We work with everybody who wants to. If you really want to, then that's what we're here for. We're all about it. We're here for it to help you to get into your home. But you do, want to take into account some of these things that we've been talking about today. These are they may not be the quote unquote sexy way, it may not be the most popular way, but at the end of the day, when you get to lay down in your own bed, in your own home, you don't hear the neighbor's kids, waking you up in the morning when you want to sleep late.
Yeah.
You know, you want to change the color of the wall, but you can't because the landlord says that it can only be white, different things like that. How much is that really worth to you?
Yeah.
Is it worth the time that you can say, okay, you know what? We're going to go on a Starbucks fast and I'm not going to have Starbucks for the next 90 days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
something to
it
think
works.
about.
Right. I'm gonna cook my own food every
Yep.
day. Right. Like take
Yep.
a lunch. I mean, sometimes you could spend $15 nowadays
Oh my goodness, yes. You can spend $15 easily at fast food restaurants.
at a fast food restaurant. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a long time ago, a little fish fillet didn't cost me no $15.
We're not about to talk about the little fish fillet, y'all. We're not gonna let her go there today, okay?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What happened? So,
And what happened? I don't know what happened. But again, when you're thinking about what you really want, then what are you willing to do to get it? And in the grand scheme of things, this is not a huge sacrifice. Not having coffee, not eating out every day, it's really not a huge sacrifice. Taking money from your retirement account is not really a huge sacrifice. As long as you don't draw down everything where you left with nothing to have to start over,
yeah.
that might not be the wisest thing to do, especially depending on how close you are to retirement. But these different things, selling stuff that you're not using anyway, is that really a big sacrifice for you to be able to live in your own home? Go downstairs in the basement and, what do they call them? Super Bowl parties. You can host the Super Bowl party,
Right.
it's worth it to me. I mean, that's just me. In my opinion, it's worth it. I remember when I bought my home by myself. It's me. I'm a single mom and I in the industry and I was helping everybody else buy homes. I'm like, I want a house.
Hmm.
And so I did what needed to be done. I had to make a few sacrifices as well when it was time for me to buy my home. And I also had to put aside my pride because I needed help.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, God bless his heart, Barry Johnson, love you. But he helped me. He helped
Hmm.
me when it was time to buy my home. And I can say it now because they can't do nothing about it. But he put some money in my account so I could show a certain amount, when it was
Barry
time.
said, don't be throwing his name out and then talking about what he did,
It's
right?
40 years ago, we good. It's 40 years ago, we good.
Right.
But my point is, it wasn't easy to ask, because I'm very independent. I don't like asking people for help. I don't like that. But I wanted to buy a house for me and my children.
Yeah.
So, that's what it took. And Matt Ishbier from UWM has a saying that I love, and I've taken it and I apply it to my life as well now. It takes what it takes.
Hmm.
For whatever you want to achieve in life, it takes what it takes. And if this is what it takes, then this is what you're going to do.
Right. So we're here. We do believe that you can do whatever you want to do, whatever you put your mind to it. We're here to help you to achieve that goal. So we have many of clients where we've held their hand all the way through the whole transaction,
Yep.
and it makes us feel good when we get to the end. And we know that you can get to the end as well. So
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
excited. We're excited for you. We're going to continue down this path next week about down payment. We're going to actually have a special guest with us, and they're going to share with us about the IDA program. And that's the
Okay.
Illinois Down Payment Assistance Program that is out there, and there's a lot of different grants. So join us again next week on
Next week.
Wednesday
Right
at
here.
right here at 6 p.m. and learn about the other programs. So this today we talked about how you could do it yourself. Next week we're gonna continue this series with how we could get some help for you and be there.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you got some real benefit out of this and some value. That's
Yeah,
what we come here for every week.
to provide it. Let me share with you our contact information real quick, just so you can have it. I'm Dione Branch, Allure Dream Homes, and you can contact me at this number below. And then we have Lisa J. White, Nexa Mortgage. So take some time, get her number, jot her number down. First thing that you need is a pre-approval. And so we
Pre-qual.
always got to start with Lisa, and then we go on to come back to me, and I'll help you find the home that you need. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.